there. Sir, I'm trying to make content. I'm literally, I mean, you wanna be an influencer too?
What a night, people dancing in slow motion, blurry eyes.
Okay, hello everybody. So I got a very exciting package in the mail. I was waiting for this for some time, and it was one of those things where it was like I was waiting on it, checking the email, checking the this, checking the link. But as soon as I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna keep checking, I just kind of forgot about it actually. That's when it came in. But anyways, I am so excited to introduce to you all my custom fragrance, High Muse. Okay, that felt kind of fake. Like, how do I do this without sounding like influencer TM? I don't know. I'm trying to make this sound as authentic and as real as possible, but like this is the first time I've ever had like an actual brand partnership, sponsorship. This is a first for me, so it's like I don't even know how I want to come here and do the thing. But I would just like to say that I had the pleasure and the privilege to work with Scentcraft to develop my own custom fragrance, and it is called High Muse. Where do I begin with this fragrance? I think also if you hear sighs or frustration or you know whatever, it's not me, it's the dog. Let me get a picture of him for y'all. I guess I'll start with the name of the fragrance. So one great thing about when you partner with Scentcraft to create your own fragrance, they give you full creative freedom. So you get to come up with the name, you get to come up with a visual for your fragrance and all of that, and you obviously come up with the scent profile. So let's start with the name. I initially came up with a list of different perfume names, but the space I was in mentally and emotionally during the time that they reached out to me and during the time that I was actually working on the fragrance, I was just feeling, it was such a mix of feelings that I was experiencing in that time. You know, I think especially right now we see a lot of this, like everyone wants to be an inspiration. You know, what did they say, like 70% of Gen Z or Gen Alpha wants to be a YouTuber. So there's this idea that everybody wants to be looked up to, everybody wants to be a muse essentially. And in the career that I am in, entertainment, you know, video production, it kind of comes along with the territory in a way. And so I have organically found myself in positions where I have been looked up to, even to the point of being put on a pedestal, I would say. And for the bulk of my life, I would say I was trying to live in accordance to other people's aspirations for me, other people's perceptions of me, because that's already what it means when we're talking about a muse. It's someone creating a world based off of their perception of you. Now that perception can be accurate or it can be inaccurate. And in my experience, sometimes when I found myself trying to hold myself to those perceptions, when I tried to hold myself to that pedestal, I put myself in a position of being inhumane. I wasn't able to be a human. I wasn't able to make human mistakes. I wasn't able to experience human emotions. I wasn't able to make human connections. And so you become so detached from the normal and the mundane because you are this spectacle now. And sometimes that can be really isolating and not in a good way. Sometimes isolation is good, but sometimes it's not so good. And so the idea behind the name of the fragrance was to kind of take that whole concept and flip it on its head in a way that What if I'm not living my life to be somebody else's muse? What if I'm not living my life to be on someone else's pedestal? What if I see all my irregularities, all of my flaws, all of my bent corners and my bumped edges, you know, and I create that to be my harmony? So that was kind of the concept of the name. In addition to that, you know, just this idea that like to be a muse is inherently creative to me. You know, when we think about muses, we think about, oh, someone writing a song about you, oh, someone writing a poem about you, someone creating, you know, think about the Taj Mahal, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's this idea that my admiration of you, of my muse, is so great and so intense that now I have to create this whole experience that reflects my experience of that person, and also it's going to in turn become that person's experience of themselves and of me. Because think about it, if you have a song written about you and it's out in the world, even if it's not in the world, out in the world, just to know that somebody, you know, did something like that, wrote a poem about you, whatever, to hear it or to read it or to experience it, now you're going to be in a way viewing yourself through that person's eyes, which can be a very intimate experience. And it's just, to a certain extent, I feel like you can't even really put it into words. And all of those complexities are what I was trying to go for when I named the fragrance High Muse. Also, the high part kind of, it's just like, you know, high tide, high femme, high. Okay, let me start off by saying this. When I wear fragrance out and about in the world, I am a layering girl. I layer my fragrances all the time because here's the thing, I'm not only using sprays most of the time. Usually for me, it's a mix of like essential oils, body butters, oils I got from like the African festival, and actual spray fragrances. So I actually, when I'm doing my fragrance thing at home before I leave, I'm also trying to create an experience that feels to me like me. Like I want to step out and I want to smell like me. I don't want to smell like Rihanna. I want to smell like me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that means. So, but you know, I like the idea of having a cohesive, just like this is all of me in one place. And so that was kind of what I was going for. So usually my core scents are sandalwood. I usually can't do nothing. I can't do anything without sandalwood. It's just something about it. Something fruity, something poppy to kind of, you know, bring along that vibrancy, and then something that'll bring about the warmth, right? That like sensuality of it. So this fragrance, the core notes are sandalwood, pineapple, and vanilla. Now, if you know me or if you've been following me within the past like 6 years, you know why pineapple is in here. I had this whole phase where I was like, be a pineapple, stand tall, be sweet on the inside, and wear a crown. And you know, I still stand by those to this day. It's just not like my persona. But in addition to that, because of that time, I grew to just genuinely love the scent of pineapples, the flavor of pineapples. And so I just felt like pineapple would be a really good way to kind of cut through that sandalwood, because sandalwood can get musky. Sandalwood can get intense. Sandalwood is like that intense eye contact, and you know, sometimes you need something to balance that. So I would use the pineapple to kind of cut through that, and then the vanilla, it keeps it warm, it keeps it inviting, you know, it brings in that sweetness. The pineapple has a sweetness, but it's a different type of sweetness from the vanilla. So those are my core profiles. When I first received this, you know, I'm thinking of my 3 core scent profiles or whatever, and I smelled it, And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, when I smelled it for the very, very, very first time, I was kind of like, not that it didn't smell good to me, because it does smell really good. I'll get into that later though. But what it was, I was just kind of like, wait, does this smell like, does this smell like, it wasn't what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting what it smelled like. So, you know, I kind of sprayed it kind of a little bit like, nah, left it alone, went about my business, you know, did some work, came back to like cut an apple or something. And I kid you not, I'm standing there cutting the apple or getting the apple out, and I'm like smelling around, like, what's that smell? Like, I'm like, what is that smell? And then it dawns on me that it's the fragrance. So that says two things. Like, this fragrance will very likely catch you off guard. Like, it's that type of smell where it's just, to me, it's the type of smell like you wear this, somebody walk by you, and then like 3 steps after they're past you, they like, hold up. Like, it's not a immediately when you talking to that person, they're like, oh, you smell good. It's more like you're meeting this person, y'all are chatting it up, and then like a minute into the conversation, they're like, what you got on? Because when I tell you, that's the effect it had on me. And then the second note I have to say is the dry down. The dry down, baby, the dry down. Now, I have used, like I said, I have some spray fragrances, but I generally have not experienced intensely, at least, like this idea that you spray it and it's got one scent profile and then you let it dry and then you go outside, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, my fragrances have that, but it's usually because of the layering aspect. But I feel like that phenomenon, you know, that you get, the dry down in this thing is ridiculous. It's like it becomes so milky and gourmand almost, which I was not expecting. There's no chocolate in here. Yes, there's vanilla, but vanilla can go any way. You know, vanilla is really flexible. So that's one thing to note. Like, one, this is that hold up. And two, the dry down is phenomenal. So what I really like about this fragrance also is the color of it. It has this very beautiful amber color. I'm gonna do some close-up videos. I have to say, now that I actually have this in my hands and I can smell it, whoo, my goodness, like, whoo, wow. I mean, this, I will also say, I predict that a little will go a long way with this. I mean, you know how those TikToks where they're like, don't wear this fragrance if you don't want people coming up to you in the middle of the street, and you know, I don't know if this is gonna be doing all that, but it might. It might. This is intense. Now, what I will say, I am still a layering girl, so I'm most likely still gonna be doing layers with like my body butters, my body oils, but this, I mean, it really does. Goodness, like, it does the job. It does the job. So that's really that about my fragrance. Now we can get into if you want your fragrance. So obviously you can purchase, if you just want to be a muse and you want to wear high muse, then you can of course purchase my custom fragrance. I can link it, I don't know where it's gonna come, either over there or over there, but it's gonna be up here. I can link it if you wanna see and purchase my fragrance. However, you might also be thinking, yeah girl, high muse sounds good, but I have my own scent profile in mind. You know, you might be thinking something more aquatic, more marine. You might be thinking something extremely gourmand. You might want chocolate in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might want some pistachio. I know pistachio is really trending right now in the fragrance scene. So you might be thinking, I want my own thing. Here's the thing, you can do that. You can do that. Basically, I can also link you to where you can go and create your own custom fragrance with Scentcraft. You can also use my link so that when you purchase your custom fragrance, you know, you can get a little discount on it. You can also, I know it's like, wait, there's more. So there's a QR code on the bottle, and the person could scan the QR code and hear a personalized voice message from you. You could be saying, hey, I love you, mom, or, you know, because Mother's Day is coming up, or you can send it to your significant other. You can send it to your sibling. You can send it to your pastor. I don't know. You can send it. You can send it to whomever you would like to send. And yeah, I think so. I think that's the main things. I have a fragrance. You can have a fragrance. You can send a fragrance. So now comes the fun part. Now that I actually have this, obviously I'm going to be posting this review. We got a little bit of sexy, we got a little bit of intense, and then you have high muse. There you have it, everybody. This is my custom scent, custom fragrance, high muse. It is sexy, it is intense, it is musky, it is vibrant, it is sensual, it is warm. It's everything I would look for in a fragrance, and I'm hoping that it is what you're looking for too. So if you are looking for it, let me do it again. The link you can get it is up here. And of course, if you want to make your own fragrance, the link you can do it will also be up here, or below in the description box. I forgot that's also a thing. But yeah, so you know, thank you everybody for watching this video. And if you do decide to go and get the fragrance, thank you for that as well. And this is to all the muses out there, to, you know, everybody who might not know that you're a muse, because, you know, art is so personal. Sometimes you can be a muse, not even know it. To the ones who are dreaming of their muse right now, I'm praying that we all let love lead the way, and that we tune into our hearts and into our sacral. If you know or you know, okay? And that's really it for me, but I'll see y'all next time.
All your streets are empty lights begin to sway.